I love it.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Bryon Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I am excited yet again. I know you're used to me saying that, but I always am, because I'm always excited to talk to new, extraordinary people from around the globe. And today is no different. Today, I have Bryna Haynes. Haynes. Sorry, I apologize. Haynes. Bryna Haynes. And she wasn't supposed to say anything, but she had to correct me. Before she tells you about herself, I'm going to tell you a bit about her. Now, Bryna is the founder and CEO of WorldChangers Media. As a nationally known book strategist, speaker, ghostwriter, and editor, she has helped hundreds of thought leaders, teachers, healers, and enlightened entrepreneurs deliver their message and radically uplevel their expert status through best-selling, impact-driven books. Wow. Titles she claims in her spare time include Self-Reinvention, Savant, Curtain Artist, is that right?
Kirtan, yes.
Curtain Artist, that's unique. Lego Castle Designer, Dragon Tamer, Luxury Travel Hacker, and Connoisseur of Kick-Ass Boots. Learn more about Bryna and her work at www.worldchangers.media, right? .com? Yeah.
.media, yes.
Oh, just right. .media.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So how are you doing today, Bryna?
I am doing so well. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here with you. I'm super excited for our conversation.
Yes, and I just want to extend and express my sincerest gratitude, because I am a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to spend some of your time, choose to spend some of your time here with me, I very much appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thanks again for the invite.
Absolutely. So let's just get right into it. I mean, prior to this segment, you were asking me what should we talk about, and we can talk about a lot of things. First of all, you're the founder and CEO of WorldChangers Media. Tell us a little about that.
Absolutely.
And how that came about.
Yeah. It's actually quite a story, believe it or not.
Yes.
I've been in the world of nonfiction books for over 15 years. My first career actually was as a hairdresser. I was a master stylist and colorist, and that was my first work-related creative expression. And then in around 2006, I decided that I was done with that part of my life. I was looking to bring in other passions and skills. And so I left that career and started a freelance writing business. And I did everything. I mean, you name it, SEO for real estate websites to, I landed a couple of ghostwriting gigs in nonfiction, thanks to a really amazing book coach that I connected with early on. And she was connecting with clients, and it was amazing. But I very, very quickly fell into this world of transformational nonfiction and self-help and personal development. And it was exactly where I wanted and needed to be. First of all, because I was, working with these amazing people who were mission driven and so excited to do their part to uplift the world and humanity, but also because I really needed that information at that time in my life. It was awesome.
Right.
So I had been in that world until about 2018. I took a little hiatus. I was doing some personal development coaching, and I was leading events and retreats. And then we all know what happened to retreats in 2020.
Yes, they sort of dissipated
among all of the real tragedies, there were some retreats that got canceled, which sucked. Not as bad as other things sucked, but it was one of those things. So last year, I was really kind of forced into this place where I had to really re-examine. Okay, so I thought I was doing a year of events and retreats. Obviously, that's not happening. What am I supposed to be doing? And it was a little bit of a dark night of the soul, because we build these identities around ourselves. And I say around ourselves because none of them are actually who we are. None of them are actually at all defining the core of who we are. But we build them, we shape them, we put on our little glitter and our little details, and and then it was like 2020 was a hammer that just went smash, and I was just like, oh, okay. So who I thought I was and what I thought I was doing really no longer applies. So what's next? And I had this wonderful session with a friend of mine. Her name is Candace Haza. She is an Akashic record reader and spiritual business strategist. And she's a good friend of mine. And we sat down, and of course I was, freaking out and crying. Candy, I don't know what to do. She's like, don't hate me, but all I see around you are books. And I was like, So I had a little bit of a tantrum because I thought that books were done with me, but they weren't. And then when I finally got over myself and said, what do I really want to contribute to the world? It's always been in this space of thought leadership. And what I was resisting had nothing to do with the work itself, because I love the work and I love my clients and I love bringing ideas to life. It had to do with how I was expressing the work and how I was keeping myself small within the work. So once I figured that out,
you were limiting yourself.
Totally. There's a big difference between showing up as a freelancer and as, basically support staff, and owning your own message and mission, and being in a space of leadership within your niche and partnering with people to bring things to life. And that was the lesson I had to learn in order to bring forth what I'm doing now. WorldChangers Media launched in December of 2020, and it's been absolutely amazing. And we are producing just absolutely top quality thought leadership books for people in many different disciplines. I've worked with amazing coaches and leaders and people who are in the sort of conscious entrepreneurship space. I've also worked with people in medicine. There's all of these amazing things that are brewing that we haven't even announced yet. And just to get here first, I had to have, complete identity dissolution, right? Which is what happens to us when we need to change.
I was going to, if I may interject, I've been keeping mental notes as you've been talking, and you made some amazing points. And one of the points that you made, first of all, about the identity shift, that really spoke to me was how you articulated and expressed that we all have this sort of identity that we just kind of like put on. And I think that comes from like either the way we grew up, society, what we see on TV. We really don't always know, oftentimes know who we really are. And we are being who we think we're supposed to be to fit in, to other people's narratives or to the narrative that we think that we're supposed to be following. And it does oftentimes take that big crash to snap us out of that. And when you finally do, like you said, you used another term, get out of your own way. I always like using that term. And amazing. And another thing that I picked up on what you said is just you took the events or what happened in 2020, and that actually ended up being an asset, and you actually use that to propel yourself to another level instead of just focusing on the what it took away and the bad part, and focusing on the C word or whatever. But you were able to through that use that energy to look within and find more of your purpose and connect with it. And I think that's beautiful, because if I might add, that's how this platform here came about. I looked and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, we're kind of locked down, things are limited, but wait a minute, we have this beautiful, powerful internet that we can reach people all around the world. And what better way to do this and then, right here and showcase, and accent and highlight people that are enhancing the lives of others all around the world, and that's what my intentions are for this. Just to highlight the heroes, what I believe are the heroes, the authors, the life coaches, the spiritual advisors, the coach, just anything to do with enhancing lives, just everything. So anyone that I feel I resonate with, that has to do with helping people in some way, mentally, physically, spiritually, it's amazing. That's all I have to say.
Well, I love the work that you're doing on this platform and the way that you're just from the heart, amplifying conversations that need to be had, and and giving people that dose of inspiration. And I've been following you for quite a while. We've actually been talking for quite a while, and
yes, absolutely.
The timing worked out for now.
Yeah, and it's no coincidence that we're here.
Great. Exactly.
Excuse me, sorry for interrupting you, but yeah, it's no coincidence. I always like to say that it's no coincidence. It's everything unfolds perfectly, and I always say the universe or God or whatever you like to say, divine, power is the perfect orchestrator and connects us with those that, if we allow the flow with where we're supposed to be throughout our journey,
Absolutely. Always.
Yes.
And I think, it's funny because when we get to the point where we can do things from pure inspiration, when we let go, like all of the I have to do it perfectly, or I have to do it this way, or it has to be this way to match how I feel my identity has been set up. And when we let all of that go and we find room to just connect to pure possibility, that, like, exactly what you're describing is the kind of thing that emerges. And it's really, really cool. And it also sometimes takes a while to get there.
Right.
And
it does. It's a process.
And it's being willing to be in trust, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a process, and it's a beautiful process if you think about it. And I don't want to be I want to stay on key, but it just reminded me of what you said, just about life and how we look back on things, and oftentimes we regret, but when you get to a certain space in life, you can see that everything happened the way it was supposed to make you the person that you are presently and who you're becoming. You had to go through those certain circumstances and stages of life to grow and learn. And like you said, if you're open for that, you can look at things that happen to you in life and kind of self-destruct and implode and complain, but you can actually use those things, just like you said about 2020. You use that to propel yourself. You didn't allow it to stop you. It can slow you down, but it can't stop you. Nothing can.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. I had about 3 months of like utter resistance and temper tantrum.
Right.
So this was not like an immediate thing.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because I've really come to realize through this whole process, and this is something that I've believed and taught and worked with my clients with for many years, but really it's been amplified, I think, in the last couple of years. And that is the most powerful tool that we have at our disposal is our ability to frame stories, information, and experiences in whatever way we choose.
Wow.
And
I like how you put that.
We just literally have the power to reshape our reality. And
Right.
so it was And I found that like 2020 was all about re-examining beliefs. What do I actually believe about myself? What do I actually believe about life and about death and about what happens after? And what
Right.
do I believe about why I'm here and what I'm doing and what I have to offer the world? And it was this constant re-examination, and it definitely brought me to a place where I felt like I could really stand in my convictions
Right.
and understand a little bit more. Maybe, we're never going to understand all of it, but
Right.
understand a
Right.
little
It's
bit
a
more like, what the
learning,
hell is this all about?
learning every day though. Learning and reaching to, that's why they call it, we say reaching towards our higher self. You're never going to reach your total highest self, but reaching towards it. It's always unfold. It's a constant, it's a continuous process of unfolding, and growth
Exactly.
and following your, yes, yes, yes. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. So also, you're a nationally known book strategist, speaker, ghostwriter, and editor. Now, how did you get into those things? I mean, what I was going to ask you earlier too is, have you always been fond of just of writing and
Oh
a
gosh.
voracious writer?
Books have been my dearest love and my fondest escape mechanism since I was, well,
That's
ever since
me.
I can remember. Yeah.
I read every day.
Yeah.
This
Given the
is
choice of
what
the
I'm reading right now.
oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Um,
It's a philosopher from the early 1900s. But yeah, I learned about this guy. Sorry to cut you off, but
no,
from
no.
a man by the name that's on YouTube by the name of Bryon. What's his name? Bryan's Byron's Byron's. I can't think of his name right now. I just lost it. But go ahead and I'll find his name.
Yeah, no, I think books and writing are just, for so many of us, are just a constant in our lives. And I personally, I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a writer.
Right. Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I also made the decision at 17 not to go to college. And that's how I ended up in an alternate career in hairdressing, because I knew that I would not get what I needed to get out of the college experience if I needed to also work full time and pay for housing. And even back then, I was, very clear that like, I don't want to work that hard. Like, it's
Right.
not, the benefit that I can see is not equal to the amount of work that I will have to put in. And
Right.
so I took a little bit of a detour. But when I came back to it, it was very clear that, at least in the space that I occupy, where we're talking about, skill-based work, and in particular, editing, ghostwriting, is that practice, experience, and skill trump the piece of paper any day. And
That's
and
how I
so,
feel.
yeah, it's really, it was. I definitely feel like I probably could have used more support than I asked for at the beginning of my business.
Right.
I
Right.
really could have used more mentorship and more very specific education. But when we're committed, we figure it out.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah, it's
When you set your
it's
intentions
working.
and you
Yeah,
have a belief in what you're doing, things present themselves to you and things open up. Not saying it's going to be easy. And like you said, it doesn't just happen overnight, but I'm a firm believer, just like you, of that. I don't knock, definitely not formal education. I don't, but I do know at the same time, I am aware that a lot of our great, even, biggest entrepreneurs, a lot of them didn't go to school. They just had ideas, and, even if you go back to like great inventors like Thomas Edison, they just had things in their mind, and
exactly.
they developed
Exactly.
they developed their passion. And, it didn't take that piece of paper, like you said, to do that. And they became very wealthy entrepreneurs. And not just that, they connected with their purpose, which there's no substitute for that. So it didn't matter whether they were really wealthy financially, they were happy, they were balanced because they were doing what their purpose, what they were supposed to do. And they were,
I think the
yeah, go
key,
ahead.
oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I feel like the key is that we learn how to learn, but also that we learn how we learn as individuals. And this is something that I work with people on all the time. Like, I have clients who are amazing writers. I also have clients who are amazing entrepreneurs for whom writing is challenging. I have a client who has severe dyslexia. He, CEO, incredibly successful in his space, absolute forward thinking genius.
There's no one size fits all.
Right, like actually
in regards to learning and how we learn.
Challenging, right? Yeah. So we have to learn how we learn. And when we figure that out through trial and error, then we can begin to give ourselves the information we need to do whatever it is that we want to do. And I think so many people that I know have gotten caught up in this idea that if they weren't quote unquote good in school, that they're somehow not able to self-educate in the way that other people are. And I think that's absolutely untrue. I think it's just, we have to find the resources that actually work for us. Are we kinesthetic learners? Do we learn through actual physical touch and experience? Are we auditory learners? Are we visual learners? Can we read something and remember it? Do we have eidetic memory? And, everybody's got some different expression, but none of it is wrong. It's just, you have to be able to connect with the people and resources that are going to get you the information in a way that's useful. Yes. And then from there, the sky's the limit, really. I think any of us can learn anything we put our minds to. And
that's amazing that you know this, because that makes you even more of an asset, not only to yourself, but to other people that may come to you seeking, your services, your help, that this, that it's not a one size fits all. It's not, okay, everybody gets the same test, and just because you failed this test, you're dumb. It's like, no, you're very connected and sensitive to, to how people, not only learn, but, just how they think,
Well, I think if we can give ourselves what we need to be successful, then doors will open. And I think that, the barriers that we have internally to success, because I know that, especially for certain groups of people, there are multiple outward barriers to success. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not minimizing that, but our inner barriers to success are usually along the lines of, I can't, I don't, I shouldn't, right?
Which are really, are really the more severe barriers are the ones that are internal, because once you get those straight, you can usually break through the ones that are external.
Well, I think about it in these terms, is that all of us have events, perceptions, experiences in our lives that we have to outcreate before we can get to where we're going and really move into our purpose-driven work. And so some of us have more things to outcreate, and we can be honest about that, and we can be understanding about that, but it doesn't make anything impossible. And so recognizing that, me, as I'm growing up middle class in New England as a white woman, I have less things to outcreate than my friends and colleagues. Let's be clear here. And I want to own that. But at the same time, I just, I feel like, and you can absolutely, speak into this more clearly than I can, but I feel like there's this understanding that we can come to, that when we believe in ourselves and we give ourselves what we need to learn in the way that we need to learn it, that there's nothing we can't outcreate, but we have to trust ourselves first. And we have to be in this place where we feel our own competence. And
I totally resonate with that, because it's from mindset. And I think it doesn't matter, like you said, it can be more challenging being, someone else, or this I don't want to get too far into it, but coming from a different place or looking a different way, but you can get over any barriers if you get out of your own way and develop that mindset. With that being said, I feel that I've learned a lot more educating myself in around the subjects and fields that interest me and that resonate with my my gifts and my natural gifts and talents, which is speaking with people and creating positive music and lyrics and affirmations and poetry. I've learned a lot more than that, a lot more on my own, reading, people I admire and through the traditional education that I received. And like I said, I'm not knocking that because that taught me how to think. That taught me some structure, gave me that basic foundation. But I think that, where I've taken it from there, I think that it's far more, it's far more beneficial to me that I took this route. And I have all these books that I am very much interested in. I retain it better because it's something that's really that I really feel and connect with, and it's not something that I feel that I have to do in order to get, like you said, that piece of paper. And it's amazing. And yeah, mindset to me is everything. It's everything. And it's like, that's why also, if I might add, you can take people no matter what background, color, whatever, and they can come from the most dire, environment, most negative environment, and then become, someone great and known all around the world. What's the only difference? It's people, an average person or someone that is not fully aware would say, oh, they just got lucky, or no, it was their mindset that led to the bridge of incidences and events and chain of events that put them in that position. It wasn't just luck. Even if they tapped into something unknowingly, they tapped into the right flow and was able to propel themselves. So it really doesn't matter. Yes, there are more obstacles for some, but that doesn't mean anything. If anything, that just helps them build a stronger character. And, but other than that, you can break through any, like you said, I totally resonate and believe that you can break through any barriers. Most of the barriers are here.
Well, yes, agreed. And I feel like there's one element that we talk about a lot in the mindset space, but we don't really understand. And that's the element of decision. Right. And we talk about, I make a decision to do this. I've made a decision to start my company. I've made a decision to write my book. I've made a decision to, to be in my purpose work or whatever it is.
Right.
But I think that and I know that I didn't understand this until very, very recently. The element that gets missed is that decision in this space when we decide to move into a new reality and be different in our circumstances and be different in our approach to our learning and be different in approach to our lives, the decision has to be unequivocal. There's no going back. Right. And I think I see this with people starting new businesses. They've made the decision and then it's like, oh, but what if? Oh, yes. But this, oh, but that. Right. And then all of a sudden they're still in this gray space where they don't quite have the thing that they decided to create because they haven't unequivocally decided that this is happening. And we see that in relationships, right? People do this in relationships all the time. I want it. No, I don't want it. I'm confused. What am I doing? Right. And I think that when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to creation, when it comes to reality generation, which is what we do, that's what our minds are designed to do, is generate realities based on information. It's all about unequivocal decision. I decide that this is who I am and this is what I will accomplish and this is what I will have. And there's like literally no other choice. Wow. I think when you get to that point, the universe really lines up behind you and says, yeah, okay.
Right. No, what you just said and how you perfectly orchestrated, how you articulated that is just exciting me so much because that speaks to me, because I decided that I wanted to create a platform and become, a podcast host, a show host that speaks with people around the world. So I'm a voracious reader, for one, and I study other people that motivational speakers and just people that talk and things like that. I'm studying my craft, and I'm learning, how to articulate myself and my ideas better and better every day. And I see myself as that, and I'm acting as such and being such. So everything is starting to line up like that, just
Absolutely.
opportunities and just things are, presenting themselves as I'm just being in it and having, strong conviction and belief in what I'm doing. It's not just like, well, let me try this out today. And it's not moving. It's not generating as many numbers as no doubt. This is what I'm doing, and that's it. It doesn't matter to me whether it's one person that views it or 1,000 or 1,000,000. I know this is what I'm doing, and the momentum will continue to push and to build.
And you can feel that
Yes.
in the work, like right. I've watched a number of interviews that you've done, and I feel that, and it comes through, right? And it was part of what made me excited to say yes to be here with you. It's like, I see that and I feel it, and that's not always the case. You right. can tell when people are doing this work for the numbers, right?
Right.
And when people are doing it with passion and clarity. And I think too that it comes right back to what we were talking about earlier with identity, right? It's like, this now is the identity that you've deliberately chosen. Right. And when we do that, when we choose this way of being, we get to expand into it all the time, every day. And it's not a question of like, are we ready? Because like, nobody's ever ready. We're never like fully there. We're always learning. Right. But it's this ability to say, I am stepping into this space that I have created through my decision. Right. And if I stay committed, if I hold the vision, if I do the work, I will fill that space and I will grow beyond it. Wow. And it's like, it's just the coolest thing. It's a cool thing to see. It's a cool thing to experience. It's a cool thing to witness. Right. It's watch unfold and to watch it. It's beautiful. And just to add a bit to that, I get people all the time that have watched some of my earlier segments, either with me on other platforms or my own, that encourage me and let me know that they see the growth and the change in them. You're more comfortable, things flow better. They're just watching it and me getting that feedback right there. It's just further, affirmation and truth, and that, yes, I am that, and I am flowing and fulfilling in my purpose, so yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. I'm going through something similar right now, where I've chosen to step into this role as visionary and CEO, and it's been very different. My previous 15 years in books have all been as a freelancer. Right. How do you go from freelancer to CEO and right. And all of that? And it's an interesting navigation, and it requires that same level of redefining of self, because all of the things that I thought made me a great freelancer, like I'm independent, I work when I want, I don't live by the rules, I blah 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 blah, all the things, all my little rebel tendencies that right. I love about myself, right, are no longer serving me in this space. Right. And I have to decide what's more important. Is it this previous view that I had of myself of, needing to be the lone wolf and never being supported and all of that that fed into my idea of my uniqueness? Right. Or do I change my definition and say, I am supported because I am, like, beyond belief, am I supported by my team, by my clients, by my friends? I mean, it's amazing. But my previous identity didn't allow me to see it fully or experience it fully. Right. And so it's like, we're constantly in this dance of like trading out the older, like worn out parts of ourselves and getting new shiny ones. It's like when you get a new car and you're driving it and you're like, this is amazing. And it feels so weird and it doesn't feel like my car yet. And it's
I like how,
like that, right?
Yeah, just to put it frankly, I like how you said it. Basically, it's as simple as this. If it no longer serves you and if it doesn't, you can feel it, then it's time to shift. It's time for a change. It's time to, move. And you said that, that this wasn't no longer serving me anymore, and you can apply that to anything in life, really,
Yeah.
but especially to anything to do with your balance and your well-being and your peace within, and just your overall success in all areas of your life, your prosperity in all areas. I mean, just everything, because you don't want to be in balance. But if you're going through something, or something you're doing is not, you can feel if you're not firing on all cylinders, you know it. So
absolutely.
beautiful.
And the best gauge for that is how uncomfortable it makes you, right?
Right.
If you feel like you're stepping into something that you really want, and like this vision that feels really amazing, and it makes you want to crawl out of your skin, like, you're on the right track.
Exactly. I was going to say something that kind of you just reminded me, but it was something like, if it doesn't make you somewhat uncomfortable, you didn't set your goal high enough. It has to get you out of your comfort zone too, oftentimes, and even kind of scare you a bit, like, because if I really focus on what I'm doing now, it's exciting and scary at the same time. Excuse me, there's something that flew by the screen. Because I'm talking to just people from all walks of life all around the world, and I'm like, and I get outside of myself and say, Lou, man, you're doing this. These people want to talk to you, and I pinch myself and say, yeah, of course they do. This is what I set out to do. This was my intention. I'm a creator, and this is what I'm creating. This is what I'm aligning. I know now, how imperative our thoughts and our feelings and our words are. And so I align with that, so, and it's no coincidence that I'm aligning and attracting other people, no matter where they're from, what they look like, where they are economically, and, whatever. And we're still have similar, interests in personal growth and expansion and just everything, so it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the trick too is recognizing when your intuition is actually saying no and when your fear is posing as your intuition, right?
Right.
Especially for those of us who make snap decisions, who make intuitive decisions. There's this very fine line between, I'm having like a reaction to this
right.
thing that's upcoming. Am I
out of
actually,
fear or whatever?
Is it actually like a hard no, or is it fear? And learning, honestly, that's been the hardest part of this whole thing for me, is learning to tell the difference. Because
but that's where the work in lies, right there.
Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
That's why it's a there's a continuous shifts and when you're working on yourself and personal development, and it's all the time. It's like when you take a shower, you don't just get clean and then you're done for the rest of the week. No, you got to keep showering every day to clean yourself. So you got to keep working on yourself and making fine-tune adjustments, and you different information comes to you, and different intuitive feelings and just everything. It's just, that's why one of the reasons why you see me so excited when I'm talking to people, because I know that my intentions are to talk to especially positive people, and I know I'm learning something, even if I don't understand or can't relate to everything that someone's saying. It's still going in that subconscious mind what they're talking about, and so I know that I'm basically I'm in class, even though I'm talking to someone. So it's a win-win for me. That's how I go about it. So,
Absolutely. And all of that information gets integrated,
right,
and the things that are necessary just surface at the coolest times. Like this happens to me all the time. I'll read something and then 3 years later I'll be, in a conversation and this will pop up and it's,
right,
oh, I didn't need that information till now, but it's still there. And
right,
so even when we are in this process of maybe just starting our up level and
right,
we're just absorbing all of this information and reading all these books and listening to all these podcasts, and it doesn't all feel relevant right now.
right,
Our brains are amazing warehouses of
right,
information, and our
exactly,
subconscious literally records, it's like 8 billion pieces of information a day, or it's like it's some insane number.
right,
And only the pieces of information that feel immediately relevant make it past the filters into the conscious mind,
right.
but all of the information is recorded.
It's in
And
there.
so none of our time is wasted, even when we feel like, again, like something's not relevant to us right now, or we're not quite ready to utilize this piece of information, or we're not quite ready to take that step.
Right.
None of the time that we spend in learning and personal growth is ever wasted. And
Wow.
that information
Beautiful.
will resurface if we
And
allow it.
and if I might add to that, that is why I've become a person that is very particular of what I give my attention to, or what I allow to come in these ears and these eyes. I wasn't like that before, for 5 years, 6 years ago. No, just, and then I wonder why it's so much stuff that was going on that wasn't what I wanted. At least I didn't think I wanted, but the way the information I was receiving, I was giving my attention to, my energy to, was saying different. So now I'm very particular in the conversations I engage in, what I listen to, the information, and things of that nature, because I know it gets recorded. My recording device is recording that. So if it's something that I don't want to manifest in my life or to come back, then no, I have to stop it at the conscious level. Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
So I'm
absolutely.
particular now about, even like television shows and movies, things like that. I like, and like, not to pass judgment on anyone else, but I don't watch like the news. So a lot of times people ask me, do I know, oh, this happened? I don't know. I know because you just told me, but no. And even then, the closest people around me, they already know, I don't talk about that kind of stuff, and I'm not into the latest craze or scare, It's
Well,
good to be informed, but at the same time, I think what's the universe has a way of giving you what you need to know, so it's not like, okay, the
exactly.
world's coming to an end. I'm going to know that. So
Yeah, probably someone will let us know at that
yeah,
point.
I'm going to know that. I don't need to focus on it every day and say, okay, in 3 days, and then, oh yeah, I'm seeing it. No.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty amazing, because working all these years in story, I've come to a real appreciation of how we learn through story. And
Right.
this isn't just like a nonfiction book technique, right? Where we're like, I'm going to use this story to illustrate this point and it's going to become a teaching story. Like, yes, there's that.
Right.
But every time we watch Netflix, we're
Right.
learning about a perception of relationships, or a
Right.
perception of people's behavior. And I think about, like, because I used to be a lot less, conscious about what I was watching, like,
Right.
hey, why
No, I
not
get it.
binge Game of Thrones for the next 8 days, or
Yes, I'm
whatever.
guilty.
And me too. I mean, hello. I mean, I'm the world's biggest fantasy geek. Like, I don't know if you can
Oh man, I
see my
love
dragon on
the,
my wall
oh,
behind me.
oh
And
yeah.
but I tend to be a little bit choosier now, because it's, again, that subconscious recording. So if I'm watching something and this is now a model in my subconscious mind for how relationships play out, how
Right.
conflict plays out, how interpersonal dynamics play out, and we
Right.
don't realize that we're actually training our brains as we consume this. It's not just fun, we're actually perceiving this as normal.
Right.
And I didn't realize that that was happening until until about 10 years ago. And I had just gotten divorced. I had started dating my now husband, Matthew, my
Right.
partner for life, the most amazing man. And I
Hi, Matthew.
realized that so many of my perceptions of what love should look like actually came from books and media, and they were incredibly distorted.
Right.
And wow, I had no
Because
idea.
they're not gonna put the information. Oftentimes they don't create these shows to help you. They create things for drama and for ratings. They're not there to help you.
Well, they say that art imitates life, and then
Right.
life imitates art, right?
Art, right.
And this, we see this constantly in all kinds of media, but it's not something that's like, don't watch Netflix. Of course, watch Netflix. Like, dude,
Right.
like the first season of The Witcher was awesome, right? I totally binge watched that. But in my mind, I'm saying, I choose not to make that my baseline paradigm.
Right. Right.
And it's very interesting when you start watching things with an eye to what is the story actually trying to communicate to me. You can enjoy the story without absorbing the energy that isn't a good fit for you.
Yeah.
But it's just making sure that, like,
just be aware, basically, and use caution. Yeah, because exactly. I myself too, I catch myself even now. I'm not trying to come across as this high and mighty. I catch myself in engrossed in a movie sometimes, and I just have to wait a minute, man. This isn't too good right now. I'm watching this, like, yeah. So, but yeah, I love good shows like that, like you said, Game of Thrones and Gladiators. Oh, yeah. And you said that picture, the dragon. Look what I have on my arm, dragon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love dragons myself.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love dragons.
Yeah, my friend Joanna Reed painted that for me, and it is absolutely my favorite piece of art. And it's but it's again, like, we learn through story. And so, those of us who are women who grew up in the 90s, when every magazine article was about, like, how do you make yourself, how do you make yourself attractive so you can be somebody's prize, and all of that, and all of the original romance novels where it was always the inexperienced virgin, but she just stole the heart of the bad boy and transformed him through her love, right? That was my entire 20s. And I realized after
pre-internet,
I was playing that out in my relationships because I had learned through story that this was normal.
Right.
And it's crazy how that works. And so one of the things I think that really brought me into books was that I see the potential for story to actually write a narrative of what life can be like and how we can be as humans. And the story is actually more powerful than the information. And so helping people who are doing world-changing work actually write their stories in a way that becomes this subconscious baseline for people, like, that's really cool. And it's not an aspect of my work I talk about much, but it's exactly that. It's like, if we're going to be consuming something, if we're going to be consuming a conversation or a dialogue or a narrative, then let's make that the most uplifting, world-changing narrative that we can create, and have that be the thing that sticks in people's heads, right? So,
wow, very, very well put. That's amazing. So I was going to ask you, before we conclude this segment, are there any last, I wanted to ask you one more thing before we're coming up on our hour mark, and I just don't want to go too far over that, but I want to ask you, I'm interested because I saw this Lego castle designer. Now, how'd you get into that in Dragon Tamer? I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Lego castle designer is because I have two girls who are 4 and 7 years
old. Love
old.
Legos. I've loved Legos since I was a kid.
Oh my goodness, yes, we love Legos. So we do spend a lot of time building Lego stuff. Dragon Tamer is actually because people often will have spirit guides and spirit animals. And mine is a dragon, actually.
Oh, okay.
And I met him many, many years ago, and he's been with me for a very long time. And this painting that my friend did that's behind me, I actually asked her to paint my spirit dragon.
That is
And
beautiful.
I wish
That's
I
two
could
dragons, or
give
is it
you
one?
guys. No, it's one. It's hard to see from here.
Oh yes, his
but,
body just changes colors.
yeah, and
Yes, I can
the
see it.
dragon is wrapped around the world, and it's really
Yes, I can see that.
energy.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that's my playful title, but it's a big part of my spiritual journey. Is what does it mean to be in that space where we are literally riding on the wings of something that is so powerful, and how do we bring that through in our lives, right? How do we embody that in a way that's in service to humanity? And it's just something that I've been working with energetically for a long time. And also, for those of you who work with spirit guides, you'll understand this. And if you don't, that's okay too.
Yes,
Chalk it up to crazy dragon lady.
Yeah, I've connected with so many people on the subject in regards to spirit guides. So yeah,
it's an amazing practice. And I feel like I've only just scratched the surface of what's available to us when we make those kinds of beyond 3D connections. And so that's what I meant by that.
Wow.
Long story short.
And that reminds me, short story long, huh? No, just
Yeah,
no. I used to watch this show. I don't know, maybe it was before your time. I think I'm a bit older than you are, but when I was a kid, I used to watch this Disney show, a movie. It was entitled Pete's Dragon. You got to look that up.
I will look that up. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Pete's Dragon. Now, the way it is, the animation is well, the dragon is cartoon, but the boy Pete, he's a real boy. So
I'm so gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, Pete's Dragon.
I'm gonna write that down.
Now watch that movie. You're gonna love it. Yep.
Awesome.
Pete's Dragon. Yeah. And I just remember as a child just watching that. You know what? While I'm here, I want to see if I can. How do you spell Pete? Okay, Pete, P-T-E. Okay, Pete's Dragon. There. Oh, they have a new one.
No way. Okay, I definitely.
In 2016, they made another one. Oh, and this one's real. Yeah, I didn't know that. So they have one that's older, then they have one. They have one that came out in 2016. But the one I'm talking about is, I'm going to put the original Pete's Dragon. Yes, now I found it. That one came out in 1977. Yep. Wow. But yeah, they have one that just came out in 2016.
I'll have to look that up and watch it with the kids.
Yeah. Let me show you a little bit while we're here. I mean, this is different, totally. But here, you can see him a little bit. Let me see. There's the boy.
Oh, yep. Okay.
That's Pete.
Definitely 70s haircut.
Yep, that's Pete. And then I think the dragon's gonna come. Look.
Hi, Elliot.
Nope, that's the dragon.
Oh my goodness, how fun is that?
Yeah.
Oh boy, those look good.
See, he's a dragon. That's the movie I used to watch when I was a kid.
All right.
But they have a newer one with better and updated technology, 2016. Now I have to watch that. So it was no coincidence that you reminded me of that movie, and now we both have something new to watch. You have two of them to watch.
I have two to watch. Yes,
and I'm going to watch the 2016 version. Wow, I didn't know that there was one out.
I know what I'm doing for the rest of the night then.
Right. Oh, your kids are going to love that original, especially. They probably love the newest one, but they're going to love that original one. That it's so you'll like it. It's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to share when I upload this segment your connections, your websites. But while you're here, how can people reach you and find out about your
absolutely. So the website is worldchangers.media.
Right.
And all of our latest releases, books and everything are on there. There's also a link right on the homepage for anybody who is curious about our services, who's ready to write their thought leadership book. You can book a call directly with me, a 20-minute call with me right from the homepage. And I'm always interested to hear about amazing world uplifting ideas, and always happy to have conversations with people about, you know, what's happening in their worlds. And so definitely please reach out if you want to be connected. I'm also on Facebook under WorldChangers Media, and my personal account is just at Bryna Haynes. So you can always reach out with a friend request too. I'm always happy to receive those.
Right. Thank you. I'll make sure I get all those in the description. I incorporate that. Also, are there any concluding ideas, words, anything you'd like to say before we end?
Well, I just feel like I just want to encourage everybody to absolutely make the unequivocal decision to follow your dreams and your passion. And it might not always look like you think it's going to look, but if you allow space for yourself to step into that, knowing that that is exactly what you need to be doing, exactly where you need to be going, just amazing things will happen. And so if there's anything that I could leave everyone with, it's just please trust yourself enough to take the big step into where you're meant to be going, because the world needs you. We need you. So I want you to, I really just, oh my goodness, please step up, lean in, become who you came here to be, and let us all know about it so that we can be here to support you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bryna. I
Thank you so
appreciate all your input, all your just your perspectives, your ideas, your wonderful contribution to your, not only yourself but humanity and what you're doing. May it continue to just unfold gracefully and just everything, just draw everything that you desire into your experience, you know, and I believe it will, and it is, you know.
And it is.
Yes, it is. And just that just reminded me of something else. It took me a while. I wanted to say this earlier. I read the book years ago entitled "The Power of Now" by Eckhart Tolle, and at that time, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really get it. But like you said, that information, it stayed in there, and it researched. Now I get it, you know. But at first, when I read it years ago, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it at first either. It
Yeah,
took
I didn't
a long
get it.
time, actually.
Yeah, it took a while for me to get it. I'm like, what do you mean everything's now and all that? No, this just happened. This is going to happen, you know, but I get it now. And wow, it's, you know, it really turned out to be, you know, an asset to me to think along those lines, and to know that right now is all we have, and it's beautiful. But thank you very much. And
thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Yes.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
I appreciate your time as well. Thank you.
And thanks to everybody who tuned in to watch. And yeah, I mean, how does it get better than this? That's my favorite question. How can it be better, even better than this?
Wow. And,
I just had an amazing. Access consciousness is a practice worth exploring for sure. Great lines of questioning in that one.
Wow. Amazing evening that I just had right now. And it's wow. So tonight I'm going to sleep with just very, good thoughts in my mind, and just letting this all sink in, and everything that you've shared. Wow. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for watching. I send you thoughts of love and peace and prosperity and health, and everything's unfolding perfectly, and embrace the process. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Thank you very much. See you soon. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved.